Yo, peoples, what's going on with ya? What's cracking lacking? It's your favorite bean eating mofo fresh off the banana boat. You feel me? Big Lou tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou, NFZR2, baby, baby. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, this is about the Oakland. Well, actually, at that time when these guys came into the league, uh, Howie Long caught, I think, 2 years of the Oakland Raiders, and then they moved to LA, and both of his Super Bowl titles were with the LA Raiders, and Marcus Allen won titles with the LA Raiders as well. Um, Show you guys this little, it's a throwback Mitchell and Ness throwback Marcus Allen jersey. I have a Howie Long as well. I just got it shipped to me. It's at my pops' house. I got a Bo Jackson and a Howie Long together. As you can see, Marcus Allen, right? So uh, my nephew's even named Marcus, and his middle name's Allen. And these were two big pieces to the Raiders' success in the 80s, right? Early 80s, because like I said, Howie Long got two Super Bowl titles with the Raiders in 1980 and 84. He was Howie Long was born January 6, 1960. He played 13 seasons in the NFL as a defensive end, right? Spending his whole career with the Raiders franchise in Oakland and LA. Selected by the Raiders in the second round of the 81 draft, right? Second round. Um, he long received 8 Pro Bowls and 3 first-team All-Pro selections while helping the team win a Super Bowl title over the Redskins. He was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2000. And I believe him and Marcus Allen are both born in 1960. And they both were selected in 2000 to the Hall of Fame. He's born in Somerville, Massachusetts. He stood 6'5". He weighed about 265. Everybody knows number 75, right? Howie Long. His high school is Milford, Massachusetts, and he went to Villanova. He was, like I said, he was a second round pick, 48th overall of the 81 draft. He played from 81 to 93. He just missed going back to Oakland because they went back in 94. So my mistake. I fixed that. He's got 1 Super Bowl title. He's the NFL Co-Defensive Player of the Year in 85. Like I already mentioned, he's a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 83, 84, and 85. He's a 2-time second-team All-Pro, 86 and 89. 8 Pro Bowl selections, 83 through 87, 89, 92, and 93. So his last 2 years in football, he was still getting Pro Bowl selections. He's a member of the 1980s All-Decade team. He finished his career with 84 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 10 fumble recoveries in 13 seasons. So after he retired, everybody knows he's part of the Fox team, right, with Bradshaw and I think James Brown's over there. I believe Coach what's his name? Oh man, the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, or Jimmy Johnson. I think he's with one of those, maybe both. So like I already mentioned, he was on the defensive line for the Raiders. He had high aspirations early in his career. He told Football Digest in '86 that he wanted financial security and I want to be in the Hall of Fame. So this guy Howie Long ended up being a part of the commentator, analyst for Fox, and I'm pretty sure he's making more money doing that now than he did in his football career, because it was back in the '80s. These guys didn't make too much money, It is what it is. So he wanted to be financially secured and be a Hall of Famer, and I can pretty much guarantee he accomplished both of those. He said, that's my goal, right? And I'd like to win a few more Super Bowls. Well, he only got to win 1. Along the way, he was also named first-team All-Pro 3 times. Okay, we already went over that. And he was selected by John Madden to the All-Madden team in '84 and '85. And then he was named to the 10th anniversary All-Madden team in '94. Long was voted the NFL Alumni Defensive Lineman of the Year and the NFLPA AFC Defensive Lineman of the Year in '85. He capped off a stellar '85 season, earning the George Halas Trophy for having been voted the NEA's co-NFL Defensive Player of the Year, along with Andre Tippett. He was also named the Seagram's 7-crown NFL Defensive Player of the Year. The following year, Howie was voted the Miller Lite NFL Defensive Lineman of the Year. Both those awards were taken by polls of NFL players in '86. So that says a lot. That means the NFL felt that he was a top-notch defensive lineman. Obviously, Lawrence Taylor would have got him, but Lawrence Taylor was in the NFC. So in '86, he was voted to his 4th consecutive Pro Bowl and was key in helping the Raiders record 63 sacks and being the #1 defense in the AFC. From '83 to '86, the Raiders defense recorded 249 sacks, which tied with the Chicago Bears for tops in the NFL over that span. And keep in mind too, his partner on the line was Greg Townsend, who finished with more sacks than even Howie Long had. Long collected 91.5 sacks during his career. 7.5 are not official, as sacks were not an official statistic during his rookie season. His career high was in '83 with 13 sacks, including a career-high 5 against the Washington Redskins on October 2nd, '83. He also intercepted 2 passes and recovered 10 fumbles during his 13 seasons. At the time of his retirement, he was the last player still with the team who had been a Raider before the franchise moved to L.A. He won the Super Bowl title as the left defensive end with the Raiders in '83, beating the Redskins as he outplayed the opposing offensive tackle, George Stark. The vaunted Washington running game led by John Riggi had only 90 yards and 32 rushes. They did pretty good. Less than 3 yards a rush. Long's signature defensive move was the rip, which employed a quick uppercut-like motion designed to break an opposing blocker's grip. Pro Football Weekly named Long as one of the ends on its all-time 3-4 defensive front, along with Lee, Roy Selman, Curly Culp, LT, Andre Tippett, Harry Carson, and Randy Grandsher. So that was during his career, right? And then we'll give you a little background on what he did after football. So after his retirement, following the '93 season, Long pursued a acting career, focused mainly on action films, including Firestorm, a '98 feature in which he starred. He also appeared as co-star in the suspense movie Broken Arrow alongside John Travolta. He played a minor role in the movie 3,000 Miles to Graceland along with Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell. In That Thing You Do, Long appears as Mr. White's, Tom Hanks' partner, Lloyd, in the extended cut of the movie. Okay. Long also made numerous cameo appearances on TV shows and commercials. He was a spokesman for Radio Shack, making commercials with actress Terry Hatcher. He has also been featured in many other national commercials and advertising campaigns, including those of Coors Light, Nike, Campbell's, Chunky Soup, Hanes, Frito-Lay, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Nabisco, Kraft, the Bud Bowl campaign, Honda, and currently for Chevrolet. And he also makes commercials for Skechers. Right? So after his retirement, Long became as a studio analyst for the Fox network NFL coverage, where he often plays the straight man to the comic antics of co-host Terry Bradshaw, as well as writing a column for foxsports.com. Okay, so I also remember, I think Howie Long was in that. No, he wasn't. He wasn't in that. So he was named Walter Camp Man of the Year in 2001 by Walter Camp Foundation. He's alumnus of the Volunteers, his time for the Boys and Girls Club of America. Long, and then he has his eldest son is Chris. He's also a football player, retired. He played for the Rams and the Patriots and the Eagles. His middle son, Kyle, is a guard who played for the Bears and played 1 season for the Chiefs after signing with them in March of 2021. His youngest son, Howie Jr., works in player personnel for the Raiders. Long is Roman Catholic. Who we got here? Tim Egan. I was a long-time original Oakland Raiders fan going back to the Stabler days, even though I lived in Denver. Got autographed pictures of Cliff Branch and Lester Hayes. Howie Long was a beast. Yeah, I got pictures of Lester Hayes and Cliff Branch. Lester Hayes is he comes out here a lot. I see him a lot. He makes a lot of signings. He makes a lot of different point appearances. Cliff Branch used to too, but R.I.P. Cliff Branch. He finally made the Hall of Fame, huh? And it sucks too. Some of these older players, man, such as like in basketball or football. Excuse me, baseball. Like Dick Allen, like he was only one vote away from getting in the Hall of Fame, but then the Veterans Committee didn't, because of COVID, they didn't make the phone call, or they didn't call it in. I forgot what the excuse was, and he didn't make it. Now he passes away, and then they put guys in after they pass away. It sucks. So Marcus Allen, like I said, he's also born in 1960. Born in San Diego, March 26, 1960. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. He went to Lincoln High School in San Diego, and we all know he's a USC Trojan, Heisman Award winner. He's 1982 draft, 10th pick overall. He played with the Raiders from 82 to 92, and then the Chiefs from 93 to 97. Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP, NFL Most Valuable Player, 85, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 85, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, 82, NFL Comeback Player of the Year, 93, two-time first All-Pro, second team All-Pro, six-time Pro Bowler, two-time NFL Rush Leader, NFL Rushing Yards Leader, 85, NFL Scoring Leader, 82, National Champion, 78, Heisman Trophy, 81, Maxwell Award, 81, Walter Camp Award, 81, Pac-10 Player of the Year, 81, Unanimous All-American, 81, Second Team All-American, 1980. His number 33 is retired at USC. He finished with 12,243 yards rushing, which is an average of 4.1 yards a carry. He had 123 rushing touchdowns. He had 587 receptions for 5,411 yards with 11 touchdown passes caught. Marcus Allen, up until he started having beef so okay, let's put it this way: from 82 to around 88, Marcus Allen's numbers were, I mean, he was top notch in the running game. Then he gets into it with Al Davis. They get Bo Jackson. They start making him block for Bo Jackson. He lost a lot of playing time because of it. He was benched a lot because of the incident with him and Al Davis. Al Davis did him dirty. And then once he got out of there, he went, of course, to our rival, right, the Chiefs. And then he starts doing a bunch of stuff that, he started making history. You know what I'm saying? In other words, he started accomplishing big-time deals with the Chiefs. Okay, so during his professional career, like I said, he had the yardage in the rush, in the pass, and the touchdowns. He has 145 total touchdowns, including a then league record 123 rushing touchdowns. Okay, we already talked about that. So here we go. He was drafted, like I said, 10th overall in 82 by the Raiders. He was pleased that he didn't have to travel, as the team had just relocated from Oakland. So he's from San Diego. So LA, San Diego ain't real far, right? Still California. Allen has recalled that shortly before being drafted by the Raiders, the Raiders asked him his weight. He answered 200, 212, and then drafted him soon after. Though his rookie season was shortened by a league strike, Allen rushed for 697 yards and led the Raiders to a best record in the AFC, 8-1. The next season, Allen broke 1,000-yard mark for the first time, an accomplishment he would repeat the two following years. During the 85 season, he rushed for 1,759 yards and 11 TDs on 380 carries, leading the Raiders to a 12-4 record and the AFC West Division Championship. In addition, Allen was named the NFL MVP. The Super Bowl in the Super Bowl on January 22nd, 84, Allen ran for 191 yards, caught two passes for 18 yards, and scored two touchdowns in the Raiders' 38-9 victory over the Redskins. Included in his stats was a 74-yard run, a feat that remained the longest run in Super Bowl history until Willie Parker's 75-yard run. Allen's 191 yards rushing were also a Super Bowl record, which stood until Timmy Smith of the Redskins topped it with 204. Upon winning the game, Allen joined a small group of players to win both the Heisman Trophy and the Super Bowl MVP. Roger Staubach, Jim Plunkett, and Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard's way after that. In total, Allen rushed 58 times for 466 yards and 4 touchdowns during the playoffs. He also added 118 yards and 1 TD on 14 receptions. Allen ended the 85 season on a strong note, finishing the year as the NFL's rushing leader with 9 consecutive 100-yard games. In 87 through 90, Allen shared the backfield with Bo Jackson. Initially, Allen was commended for his gracious nature and team spirit for sharing the spotlight during his prime of his career. In later seasons with the Raiders, Allen had a stormy relationship with owner Al Davis stemming from a contract dispute. Some say contract dispute, others say that he was messing around with Al Davis's daughter. I don't know how true that is. Buffalo Billy go rowdy outside. I lost a lot of respect for Al Davis over that and lost interest in the Raiders. Yeah, I'm starting to lose a lot of interest in them now. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Davis referred to Allen as a cancer to the team. He also missed most of the 89 season with the knee injury. Allen was regulated to backup duty in his final 3 seasons with the Raiders, and at one time fell to 4th on the depth chart. Allen's strained relationship with Davis reached an all-time low in December of '92 during halftime of the Raiders-Dolphins game on Monday Night Football. A taped interview between Al Michaels and Allen was broadcast, in which Allen said that Davis told me he was going to get me, adding, "I think he tried to ruin the latter part of my career, try to devalue me. He's trying to stop me from going to the Hall of Fame. They don't want me to play." Allen eventually left LA and joined the Chiefs in '93, which is our rivals, right? Along with Denver, along with the Chargers, even along with Seattle Seahawks, even though they're no longer in our conference or our division. Although he only rushed for 764 yards that year, he scored 12 TDs, leading the AFC, and he and Joe Montana led the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game. Allen scored touchdowns in both Chiefs playoff games that year and was named the NFL Comeback Player of the Year in Pro Football Writers Association. When the retirement of Eric Dickerson in '93, Allen became the active leader in career rushing yards, a position he maintained until being passed by Barry Sanders in Game 1 in the '97 season. Allen went to play for the Chiefs for 4 more seasons, leading the team in rushing every year but his last. Allen retired after the '97 season. In '99, he was ranked 72nd on the Sporting News list of 100 greatest players. Allen was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2003. Also, I made a mistake. Sorry, I said he was also voted in 2000, but I think what that was a picture of 5 Raider players that were in the Hall of Fame. So I made a mistake there. So, these are some of his NFL records. Consecutive seasons with multiple touchdowns, tied with Urban Fryer, 16 seasons. Consecutive seasons with the rushing touchdown, 16 seasons. Consecutive seasons with multiple rushing touchdowns, 16 seasons. Oldest player to score 10 touchdowns or more in a season, 37 years old. But I know against the Raiders, like he scored his 100 touchdown against the Raiders. I believe he rushed for his 10,000 yard against the Raiders. I think it was, you know what I mean? He was a good friend of O.J. Simpson's, right? They had some problems too back in the day. You know, with his wife type stuff, I guess it was. You know, but Marcus Allen went on to have, like you said, he had, let me see, 93, he played all 16 games. 94, 13 games. 95, 96, 97, he played all 16 games for the Chiefs, rushing for 764 yards, 709 yards, 890 yards, 830 yards, and 505 yards. And he scored 12 TDs in 93, 7 in 94, 5 in 95, 9 in 96, and 11 in 97. So he still was, even though he wasn't getting, 1,700 yards and 1,100 yards and 1,000, you know what I mean? He still was doing his thing. He's been consistent all his career, almost 782, but it was a shortened season. He has 3 years in a row of 1,000 or more, and then he has 800, 1, 2, 3 times 800, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 700 or more. He scored double digits in touchdowns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. You know what I mean? So Marcus Allen, definitely a Raider great. Unfortunately, he might even win in the Hall of Fame as a Chief. I'm not even sure about that. But these are 2 guys Again, they were big time players for the Raiders organization, LA or Oakland, you know what I mean? They came back to Oakland in 94, and Howie Long just missed it by 1 year. He retired. Good afternoon, everyone. What up, Big Lou? God bless you, bro. Yeah, likewise, Christopher Trop. So yeah, those are two of my childhood favorites. Even though I like Greg Townsend. Greg Townsend was, in my book, a little more of a beast than Howie Long, just because he was around a little bit longer and he had a little more numbers, better numbers. But as far as running back wise, you got Bo Jackson, but unfortunately, because of injury in 1991 against the Cincinnati Bengals, he never was able to, get up to his full potential in baseball or football. And because of baseball, he missed every year he would miss the first 4 games of the season, NFL season. And but then you had guys, Raiders over the years picked up a lot of different running backs over the years that were, you could say, over their prime, or they had some great years with another team, such as Eric Dickerson, Roger Craig, Greg Bell. Let's see, Roger Craig, Eric Dickerson, Greg Bell, Harvey Williams. See who else they had. Those are the ones that are sticking out. I know I'm probably missing another one, but yeah, those are the main ones: Eric Dickerson, Roger Craig, Greg Bell, Harvey Williams. They had Charlie Gardner. He came on over, kicked butt for the Raiders. That was a lot later though. He was on the Super Bowl team. You had what's his name? Tyrone Wheatley. He came over from the Giants, played with the Raiders. He had some good seasons. Then you got the old school guys. You got Clarence Davis. Todd Christensen was I believe Todd Christensen was a fullback, and then they moved him over to the tight end, if I can remember correctly. So yeah, those are just a little bit of profiling, because so far I've done 5 baseball players. I did the first one was Wade Boggs, George Brett, and Don Mattingly. Second one was Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett. This is my first profile on football. So it's the Raiders, Marcus Allen, and Howie Long. And then I got another live schedule for about an hour from now. Actually, it might not be that. It might be like 20 minutes or something, of the Giants, Phil Simms and LT. And they're key to being successful in the Giants' 80s successful. I believe they got 2 titles in the 80s, these guys. But everybody knows that LT is the greatest pass rusher of the greatest pass rusher in all of football. If you don't believe that, I don't know what's going on with you. You know what I mean? But they I want to say they had 2 titles in the 80s. I'm pretty sure they did. Let me see. Super Bowl champions 80s. Oh no, actually I'm lying. 86 and 1990. So that's good enough for me. I would still consider that, you know what I mean? Because that might be 89-90 season, right? But Phil Simms wasn't a Tom Brady, right? He was not a Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre or Peyton Manning. He was more of a mediocre, a little better than mediocre, like maybe better than a Brad Johnson of Tampa Bay, better than a Mark Rippon, better than a Bubby Brister, you know what I mean? Jeff Hostetler, better than those guys, but not no Peyton Manning or Joe Montana, or you know what I'm saying? But they had a hell of a defense to go along with it. LT, Harry Carson, Carl Banks, Mark Bravavo, they had Joe Morris, you know what I mean? They had other guys that were big. They contribute to the team big, in their titles, their Super Bowl wins. Bo Jackson, 80. Are you saying those years, 87 and 90, or you're saying that's when he started, 87? Bo Jackson came out in baseball. He came out in 86, along with Canseco, Bonds, Bonilla, Kevin Mitchell, Andres Galarraga. I know I'm missing a 1 or 2 there. Let's see. Canseco, Bond, Bonilla, Mitchell, Galarraga, the pitcher Jose Guzman, I think it was John Kruk, maybe. John Kruk came out, I think, in '86. Pete I forgot how to pronounce it. Incognilia, something like that. Carmelo Martinez, those guys all came out in '86. But yeah, that was just, so that's a little bit of a couple more football profiles. Well, actually, the kickoff of the football profiles, I'm going to be going back to back with the Phil Simms and LT coming up next. I believe in a few minutes. If I'm correct. I think I'm correct. Dave Casper, yeah, Dave Casper was the beast too. You got Dave Casper, you got Ted Hendricks, you got Raiders, got a lot of good greats, man. You know, it is what it is. But all right, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out and start the next one in a few minutes here. I'm gonna start it at if it's past 11:30. If it's 11:30, I'm gonna move it to 11:35. I gotta do something real quick. If it's set for later than that, then I'll just start at that time. All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I appreciate everybody that's going to come back and watch this video later after it's dropped. Thanks for stopping by. Chris Truck, Buffalo Billy Go Roddy Outside, Tim Egan. One love from Big Lou. Tapping out.